Hey folks, so another garage sale weekend. Unfortunately, this one did get a bit rainy, which actually might have worked in my favor because most people, when they see rain in the morning, don't bother going out. And I'm enough of a stubborn ass to say, no, weather be damned. I'm getting my garage sale on. So off I went. And it held off for at least three of the garage sales that I hit, but then a couple it went down. And I did manage to get some pretty good stuff, things that I'm really quite happy with, because I know I say it over and over again, and I still do manage to find stuff, but finding old collectible stuff is getting harder and harder at garage sales. It just doesn't happen like it used to. This weekend, an exception, quite a few. Now, the one person that I did buy quite a few things off of has a garage sale every year, and they are a collector. Now, they don't sell at full retail, but they don't sell at garage sale prices either. So there were, I paid a little bit more for things than I normally would, but perfectly happy to, because I did get some great stuff. So we'll start off with the first place I went that was the collector's garage sale. And I did manage to pull off some really cool stuff. This is my favorite piece so far. It is one of the cleanest. Here's the thing, I used to have so many of these. I've had the store for 17 years, and when I first opened, I must have had 20, 25 of these things. Nobody wanted them back then. In fact, nobody wanted them until probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And I couldn't figure out why, because all of a sudden, all of mine sold, no matter what condition it was. And all my ashtrays started selling. And then it was another dealer who clued me into the fact that, hey, dude, they legalized weed. So ashtrays are back on vogue. People are picking them up. This one is nice because the chrome is immaculate in it. I mean, it really is. Look at the detail on it. That is super clean all the way. And it is the cigar style with the wider rest areas on there. And see that little push button there with your foot? This baby here lights up. And it does work, so, well, I was assured it works, and if it doesn't, he said I could bring it back, but I wouldn't anyways, because they're an easy fix. So, yeah, you can see the price on there. He's asking $50. I, offered him 40, because, as I do, I don't like to grind too hard, but a little bit. And he was sort of like, well, no, I've had, apparently the garage sale was on Friday as well as Saturday. He said he had lots of interest in it. But I did point out that, yes, you did have lots of interest in it, but here it is still here on the second day, not sold yet. But he wouldn't budge on that, and fair enough, it's his stuff. So I left, and I hit a couple other garage sales, got some stuff, which I'll show in a minute. And then I kind of have a rule that if I'm still thinking about something at the end of the day, go back. If it's there, just buy it. I mean, you're going to keep thinking about it. When I started this game a long time ago, a dealer had been doing it for many years before I started. It told me, he said, Jay, you rarely regret what you buy. Worst case scenario, you buy something, you're going to make your money back, and that's it. He's like, but the stuff that you left behind, that when you go back and it's gone, will keep you up at night for years and years after. And it is true. I have a list of regret not purchases, I went back on this one to make sure that that wasn't the case, and it was still there. And so I said, tell you what, I'll pay you the full pop on that, but there were a couple other things there I wanted, and he gave me some good deals on those. So it worked out in the well. So that was sort of my first purchase of the day. And then I picked up this out of all these came from his thing. This is like a beanie, I'm going to say from the 1960s. It is made in the USA. It has a company name on there, which I can't read because my eyes are shot. But it has the Cleveland Indians on there, the baseball team. Strange that it's green, because that is, as far as I know, never been their color scheme, but still, cool little old vintage baseball piece, vintage cap. He had $18 on it. I think we settled at like somewhere between 10 and 15. I can't remember exactly. It was part of the thing. So that was great. He also had tray lots. And he had like just tray lots at $5. And this was inside one of his tray lots, which is a vintage. I haven't looked it up, but I'm going to guess 1970s or 1980s Mickey Mouse light up drawing desk. It's in there. It's got all the paperwork and stuff down below. Haven't tested to see if it works, but it's got the original box. And I think, sorry, it was $4 for this tray lot. The other stuff was just some kiddie toys, recent stuff, which I'm just going to end up donating. An electronic Simon game. I think this was $5. It is, I can't get the lid off with one hand. I've got to get better at that. Or I could just pre-plan these things better. There you go. I think they were supposed to be styrofoam, but it's not there. I tested it. It did work out. All the paperwork is in there. Those are my batteries. So, you know, not huge money, but still worth picking up any 1980s toys whatsoever. And especially, there is a growing appeal to a lot of these earlier handheld games from the late 70s and early 80s. So I pick them up when they're cheap. This was a sealed copy of a Creedence record. And, you know, always pick up sealed records when you find them. So long as they don't look warped. This one, it looks pretty straight all the way through. You know, I think he gave me that one for $5. And then this one was also in a tray lot. And I think the tray lot was $10, and it is the Atomic Arcade pinball game from I think it was Tommy and Parker Brothers. Again, haven't fired batteries into it yet, but it looked like it was in pretty good shape. I didn't see anything that made me go, oh, that's not going to work. These were fun. I remember as a kid. Again, instructions are in there. Oops, there goes the ball. I don't know. I haven't checked to see the battery compartment to tell you the truth, how good or bad it is, but it looks okay from here. It's got the battery cover, a little bit of sticker wear, but you've got the original box. And again, I think it's like in that late 70s, early 80s era, and these have come up in price quite a bit. Before, you couldn't get $20 for them in the box. Now, you go online and check it out. I suggest you guys go and hit up the eBay sold, and you get a pretty good idea of what things are going for. So that was fantastic. There was lots of other stuff there, but not a lot of it that I think I could have made enough money for me to purchase. Lots of great things. If you were a collector, it would have been a great sale to hit. Now, what else? Oh, right. So this guy went into somebody. It was raining, so they'd moved everything into the garage, and I walked in, and this was in the corner. Now, normally I don't bother with rocking horses, although again, they are, you know, fairly popular. People do like them for kids' rooms and things like that. But this one just kind of struck me. It is clearly mid-century, and it has a modernish vibe to it because of the shape of its legs. It is an aluminum or aluminium, depending on if you're European or, you know, North American. Beautiful rocking mechanism, aluminum frame that is sort of this circular kind of thing, and then this cute little painted horse on there, and it's got nice wear to the paint. No breaks that I can see in it. I don't know if this is a repair down here, which, you know, it might be. I'm not 100%. But just a great piece. And they wanted $50 for it. It's clearly, you know, 1950s, 1960s. I'd lean closer to the 50s. But just the look of it caught my eye. Normally, I would have walked by something like this if it just had the regular legs or the regular seat type thing on it. But just with that oval shaped frame like that, I just thought it was fantastic. Now, he had 50 on it. I think we settled on 35. Great piece. If you're a modernist and you've got a new kid on the way, this might be a great one to stick in the baby's room in the corner. This is another one they picked up. The person didn't know the history for it. They had bought it with the idea that they were going to strip off these cast iron hangers from it, but they didn't in the end, and she said she didn't use them. But what struck me as interesting was the DH. So I live in a town called Dunnville, and there was an old high school that got torn down years and years ago, and that was a building that was built right around the turn of the century, I believe, maybe a little bit later, but had some decent age in it. And I've often wondered, since I bought this, if this doesn't stand for Dunnville High School. It is, you know, it's not a thing, it is a sort of a homemade type job. And I'm thinking maybe a janitor made this for their room or something like that. Pure speculation on my part, totally speculative. I am probably going to go talk to the Historical Society in town and see if they have anything on it. I just think it has a great rustic look to it, and you know, the mystery of the DH. Maybe I can solve it. Who knows? Something fun. It wasn't very much. I think it was like $5, and the cast iron hangers on it are worth more than that. People love those for their hallways and things like that now. So just like a local history piece there, and you know, if you're a collector, you probably are into your local history. It's just one of those things. Usually, we're the ones who you know, treasure that stuff. So hopefully I can figure the DH mystery on that. So these were fun. They were 50 cents a piece, and they're new old stock, and they're twist boards. And there you go. It's got the paperwork in them and everything. You can see it's just like, these are clearly 1960. I don't know if I can find the thing on here. Just 8 minutes a day to trim inches away. That's all you need. And that's it. You basically just got on there and, you know, threw on some Chubby Checker or whatever good twist records you had, and you went for it. And I don't know how, you know, how true those claims would be, or how much, but I imagine you get a little bit of a cardio workout on it. You know, if you go out dancing, you always, well, back when I did dance, you always ended up sweating up a good storm, but that might have to do with the alcohol and the lights, for half of it anyways, and the wild abandonment. Yeah, so there were two of them, 50 cents. I mean, you know, 1960s pseudo exercise, kind of quack medicine-y type feel to it, also with a bit of sort of skateboardish thing, because you have to stand on that board and wiggle it about. You can't lose with those. They do sell for like about $25 in this shape on eBay, so, you know, worth picking up. Favorite find of the day other than the ashtray was this. So I went to, it was like a little sort of court or apartment court, and they were having their local garage sale, and park garage sale or court garage sale, and people had all their stuff out. And I went up to one and asked the lady, do you have any records? And she said no. And then the gentleman who was there, I recognized him, he came into my store all the time. He was also looking at stuff, and he lived in this court, and he bought records off me all the time. And then so I said hi to him, and then I went on to the next table over. And then when I was getting back to get in the car, he was standing there with a stack of records, and these were in there. He said he was downsizing, he's getting rid of all of his stuff, and I said, I was sold as soon as I saw these three, because you just don't find Smith records at garage sales anymore. This one is going into my collection because it's the I don't have this compilation. I have every one of the studio records. This might be one of my favorite records of all time. The Queen is Dead. And so perfect. But the interesting thing is when, and I've had this happen before at other garage sales, when I start flipping through them, I find things like this. That's my handwriting. And that is my price tag. So we kept some of the ones. So this Kate Bush is kind of cool one on there. It's the white vinyl. Canadian version of this came with, I think, 4 different colored vinyl. It's a mini LP or an EP, as they say, and it's, you know, just neat to have different colored vinyl. What else was in there? Again, my price tags on there. Some Nancy Sinatra, which is kind of cool. Disco record, if you just wanted. Olivia Newton. I just bought the stack, basically. And London Beat. We'll go through all these. Elton John, Howard Jones, ABC, Grace Jones, another Grace Jones record, some sort of, I think it's like a dance record, but I don't know what exactly. Barry Manilow, which is awesome, and then some Simple Minds. Just a great stack of records. The main thing on there was the Smiths for me. I gave them $10 each for the Smiths, and then I think I paid like $25 for the rest. So, you know, when I come across records like that, I'm always going to pay up. Most people are like, you paid $10 for a record at a garage sale? Well, yeah, if it's a Smiths record, why not? I'll pay more than that for them. They're just, it's an easy sell. And I'll more than double my money on those easily. I mean, just well worth the time to pick up. And then finally, yoinks, is this great 1960s galvanized steel frame. I think it's Galv anyways. Lounge chair, and it is a full-blown summer outdoor lounge chair. I'm not going to be able to set this thing up. I could try, but I'm not going to. I'll just show you the back on there. The legs come out like that. You know what? Maybe I will set it up. Why not? See if I can do this with one hand. Oh yeah, and I got that too. There's Donald Duck. No, but you can get the idea. So that is your lounge chair right there. It is gorgeous. It's a great shape. It doesn't have a lot of sun fading to the material, considering that it is vintage 1960s. And it does have these really great adjustment sort of pins. Oh, my finger's right over top of the camera. There you go, Jay. These pins right there, which this would slot into. I can show you that. There you go. And yeah, though it's just a great piece, and people are always looking for aluminum framed lawn furniture, basically. And this is a great summer one. It's just nice pattern. Heck, I mean, you could probably get away with using this in your actual house itself rather than out on your patio or on your lawn. So yeah, there's that. That was it for garage sales, which, you know what, I'm pretty happy with everything that I got. Again, I've said it many times. It is getting harder and harder to find lots of stuff. Back when I was doing this in the 1990s and late 80s, and even into the 2000s, you could still, you could fill your car, van, truck, whatever you had, with vintage pieces. They weren't truly considered vintage at the time, and in fact, vintage wasn't even really a word back then, except for wine. But now, the thing that's happening is the stuff from the 1980s, instead of it just being donated or thrown out at garage sales, the kids want it. They want their toys back from when they were young, and so you don't find the toys as much anymore. You know, any sort of piece with age now. I mean, honestly, like these things, I used to pick them up for like $5 and $10 max. I mean, and then I would sell them for like $50. Now they sell from $100 to $150, depending on how nice and clean it is. And so all of that has changed. So yeah, if you're just getting into this now, it's a little harder for you to get the good vintage pieces. But what you should probably be doing is thinking about what's the next thing. Is it 1990s toys? Is it 2000 toys? You know, are there certain ones that you think are going to hit? Are there pieces that you think are iconic and one day will be remembered by the generation that is living with them right now and desired? That's the kind of stuff you should be picking up cheap right now. If it doesn't take up much space, grab it, stick it in a box, tuck it away for 10 years. You know, it's more fun than the stock market anyways. Okay, so that's it for this week. I hope you guys were able to grab some cool stuff at your garage sales. If you guys, you know, I don't know, can you put pictures in the comment section? I don't know, because I'm old and I don't know these things. But if you can, feel free to throw in some pictures of stuffs that you guys, stuffs, I just said stuffs, wow. Things that you guys came up with this weekend at your garage sales. I'd be really interested in seeing them. I always love looking at other people's things. If you have a friend who is interested in these kind of things, pass on my name. And, you know, maybe ask them to subscribe or like and subscribe, as the kids say. That would be super. You don't have to. No pressure. Whatever. I've said way too much. I'm still talking. Good Lord. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.